Yo, welcome everybody. It's your boy Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. As you can see, I've got a couple new gadgets. Please let me know how's the audio. Is it coming through? What's happening, people? I told you guys, just give me a few, and I'll be back in it. Welcome everybody. It's your boy Bob Rock. This is the B Rock RC Show. Sorry, I'm just getting some feedback here. As you can see, I've got a couple new gadgets. Please let me know how's the audio is coming through. What's happening, people? Seems to be okay. I told you guys, just give me a few. Just give me a few. I'm just gonna mute. Sorry, I'm just gonna mute the audio here on my phone because you. Oh well, actually, you know what? I can go the other way. Give me 1 second. There we go. Yo, what's happening, Martin? How you doing, my man? Thanks so much for joining in, buddy. Really appreciate it. So quickly before we get into everything, thank you very much for joining into another episode. You know, it's been a while. I took a little bit of a sabbatical from the show, so there's like about 4 episodes I think we missed. And the reason for that is because of the fasting month. As everybody knows, I am a Muslim and I observe the month of Ramadan. And during that month, usually I always put a pause on my RC drifting. I heavily cut back on what I do, especially the podcast, for example. And now we are back and we are back at it. We're not going to go too hot and heavy, so to speak. We're not going to go too heavy straight away, but we're just doing a little bit of a catch up. We're doing everybody's favorite segment, something that has been gaining a lot of traction, which is the hot topic of the day, of the week, whatever it may be. And I see people getting really excited, engaging a hell of a lot with it, which is really awesome. I hope that we can have some of those very same people engaging live now. Let's see what you guys have to say. If you just joined in, thank you very much. It's another episode of the B Rock RC Show. We are season 6, episode 7. Yes, season 6. Can you believe it? I've been doing it for, yeah, it's coming on 6 years now. Hey, Tice, thank you so much for joining me, man. How are you doing? Hope everything's going well. I always enjoy your posts, bro. Please keep doing what you're doing. Martin says, I'm good. He's offshore in Angola. Oh yes, that's correct. You are in Angola. Shit, you getting signal there offshore. Must be crazy, man. And yeah, really, thanks for joining in, buddy. I know you're there for work, and really happy to see that you can join in, even if it's just for a few minutes. Really appreciate it. So, like I was saying, we're not going to go in too much hot and heavy into today's episode. We're going to keep it start off a little bit light, go into the hot topic of the week, which is something that was very engaging. I posted up this week on the worldwide uh, RC Drift group, and so what I've seen is I'm actually quite encouraged to know and to see all of the interaction there. So thank you very much for that as well. And let's get into it. So there's a few things I want to do. I want to leave that hot topic for the end of the towards the end of the episode, or in the middle. Let's just see how it feels. Excuse me. But for the moment, starting right off the bat, um, one of the things I always like to do, and it's something that I think doesn't get done a lot, and that is giving the right people uh, their flowers, acknowledging those in the hobby who's doing really well, who's doing the work, who's getting out there, who's being the exemplary example of an RC drifter, being the ambassador for the sport, for the hobby, and showing everybody, be it in the community or out of the community, that this is actually what RC drifting is all about. It's not just a community, and I've said this many times before. It's not just a community; it is a brotherhood. And I have a hell of a lot of stories that can back that up. That is evidence enough to, um, yeah, to back up what I've said. So with that, one of the people or groups of people I would like to give flowers to is a fellow podcaster and their team. It's I think his name is Adam Ma from Yadma, and his channel on YouTube. He goes on every Friday morning, I think. Um, well, here it's like in South Africa it's like really early, or it might be in the night, in the evening. I'm not sure. The time zones are so out of sync. But yeah, I just want to give him a shout out, give them that whole team their flowers. Well done. You guys are doing an awesome job with your podcast as well. And keep doing what you're doing. I take some inspiration from you guys, how you guys set up, and the way you guys speak, and everything. Your podcast looks amazing, dude, or your stream looks amazing, and I just enjoy what you do. So keep doing it, because there are others out there who really enjoy what you do and take pointers from what you do. Me being a prime example. So thank you, man. Do what you do, and I hope to hear more from you and see more from you. Um, the other, the other individuals or people I want to give my flowers to is, and I always keep coming back to this few individuals. So these guys are here locally in South Africa. I look up to them a hell of a lot, and these guys are Vivian Krobler, which everybody knows is from SRC, Cisco, whom a lot of you people know, has competed a few times on the world stage and is just one of the our stalwarts here in SA, our long time, long running, former champion, OG, guru, whatever you want to call it. He's the man of RC drifting in SA. He's based down in Cape Town, and he's doing really, really good work down there, bringing the guys back together. Just he's made such an impact and such a good name for himself that people are immediately drawn to him, and not only because of his nature and his personality, but also because of his wealth of knowledge and the way he comes across to help people. And the same with Vivian. He brings in a whole different spectrum of knowledge and competitiveness and passion. Uh, Vivian is one of the most passionate people I've ever come across in RC drifting. Extremely passionate, and at times I wish I could be as passionate as he is when it comes to drifting. And the other guys I'd like to mention is Richard Shee from Donsday. He's been such a rock solid guy. He's always there for anybody and everybody to help, and he's our go-to guy for everything RC drifting related, our equipment and stuff. And we I just think that he doesn't get enough recognition. He does so much for RC drifting in South Africa, and I just want to thank you, Richard, for everything that you do, bro. You are amazing. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. We love it. We love it. We RC drifting wouldn't be at the level it is today if it wasn't for your input and for your, how can I put it, for you taking the lead on bringing us closer to the world in terms of RC equipment. That one more guy I, I have to mention. I can't. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. There wouldn't be a B Rock RC show, and that is my guy Llewellyn. He's currently SA's number one champion, RC drifting champion. We started a club together. I learned drifting from him. He's man. He doesn't get any recognition. I won't say he doesn't get any recognition. I just feel that he doesn't get enough recognition. And he's been absolutely amazing. He's a brilliant designer as well. He does a lot of our media stuff, and he's so super humble. And he's not the one to be in the front line. He always sort of pushed me in the front line, and whilst he remained the back and the technical support and keeping me in line, etc., etc. So yeah, I want to give these guys their flowers. And a few others come to mind, like um, Tech One Drift, Alfred Chan, the guys from Super G, Joey, and Steve. The reason I mentioned Alfred is because he's a brilliant ambassador to the hobby. I've heard a lot of very, very good stories about him from guys in the US, and yeah, he's been amazing. The other guys I want to make mention of is Daniel, Daniel Christoph, my my homie, my good brother from the Kamuadi Drift. He's our main man. That whole Kamuadi family, I need to give them their recognition. All of them, Rob and the other Rob, and why are the names failing me now? There's so many guys here. And out in Europe, we've got the FPS, we've got Aspo, we've got Dale, uh, and sure. Well, I really should have written this down, but yeah, the guys that I always see out in the UK, Ben, uh, yeah, Ben Hargreaves and the like, and all of the others that I've spoken to or shared a comment with, that really got together to uplift the UK RC drift team, the RC drifting day, and started the whole UK scale drift series. Daniel Harrison and uh, the Benson family as well. I know they've had some input. I just want to give you your flowers and congrats and your acknowledgement for everything that you do in the hobby. Of course, we know there's so many in Japan that we also that have done a crossover. Guys like Ryu and Hayato, we got to give them their flowers, obviously, as well. So yeah, I think let's call it enough. Flowers were given. There's no more flowers in the garden to give now. So let's move on to the next thing. Um, the other topic I'm going to talk about a little bit later is our build up to the South African RC National Drift Championship, which I'm so very proud of saying that I will be hosting this year at our local track. It's gonna be, I think, sure, like after 8 years. Yeah, I think after 8 years, we will be seeing a national championship in Durban, which I think everybody's quite excited about, especially me. I'm hosting, and I'm hoping to make it one of the best events that we've had thus far. Looking to partner up with with a few companies, with a few people, have been reaching out. So it looks like things are going really well. So as time goes by, each week I'm going to give you a little bit of a build up, give you some heads up about what's going on, what we are planning, and hopefully I can get some ideas or some tips from you guys, from those of you who have held these massive drift events. Although I've had a lot of drift events before or held, it has been a while. So looking forward to any tips and tricks that you guys can offer. What's your local track like? Highlights. Tice, that's actually very, very good questions there. So let me give you verbally what the track is like, and I am gonna write it down right now. Put in a reminder in my notebook here. I'm gonna put you a track highlight for next week's episode. And I don't know whether you're gonna see it, but it's there. It's there. So thank you, Tess. Thank you for that. I will definitely bring a highlights. I'll bring you a few videos from the last nationals that we held here, so you guys can also enjoy and get an idea of what it's like. Currently, it's the largest drift track in SA. Hey, how's it, Kev? Thank you so much for joining in, bro. Really appreciate it. Um, yeah, like I was saying, it's the largest drift track in SA at the moment. It's currently undergoing a bit of a refurb, a resurface. We have started, so it's going to be ready in time for the nationals. So nobody has to. There's won't be any concern for that. Not to worry. There is a backup plan for the venue if the weather does turn bad. So please don't worry. Everything I am preparing for everything. So don't worry. The track is actually open to the elements. It's an open air track. It's smooth painted concrete. The track has been designed by my good buddy and co-founder of the East Coast RC Drift Crew, Llewellyn. It does incorporate two banked sweeps. I think we were the first ones in the essay to include a banked sweep. And geez, this was done way back, I think 2016, 2017, sorry, around there, 2017. Yeah. That's when we've actually first introduced banked sweeps on our track. It's a very light embankment. It's not too steep. It doesn't climb high, just enough for you to notice it and just enough for you to enjoy it. So the one on the one side you can go through it quite nicely, and on the other side, as you slip your car into that embankment with just enough power, the sweep and the embankment actually just draws you in and spits you out. So all you need to do is just control your car, and with a little bit of a throttle input, and you will see magic there. I'm gonna try and make sure I get a few good shots there on those embankments. Um, Other than that, the track isn't very wide. It's roughly, on average, the lane width is about a meter to just over a meter, and the tires that we've used, we've actually changed over the years, so we try and keep it consistent with the nationals. And you want me to keep it a surprise? Okay, okay, cool. Um, well, I need to give the people something for the international friends who are friends overseas. I gotta post up a little something. Let them see what the track is like. Also, I hear what you're saying, but the difference is where the scoring zones are gonna be. So it's gonna be interesting. So to give Tess a little bit more about the track, it's it can be a little bit deceiving. We have one length of the track where you can build up the power. However, it goes straight into a hairpin bend. So you have to be really on point with your throttle and your steering. Otherwise, you send your car crashing out. Then there are a few power up zones and a few slowdown zones which you got to be careful of, but and a few technical zones. So I really think it's a track for everybody mixed all into one cohesive flowing track. I must say that the track doesn't have any hindrances in the track, meaning that there isn't an awkward point in the track where you feel like it could be better. So uh, the flow, everything's been designed really, really well. So uh, you'll actually really enjoy it. Show the pics of the East Coast track for everyone, bro. You know, let me see if I have anything loaded on my PC at the moment. I don't have my drive in here, so I can't tell you straight away. Uh, let's see. Do I have anything more? No, no, no. Okay. Now I don't have anything loaded at the moment. However, next week's episode, I will be bringing you a bit of a highlight, a bit of a track highlight, so you guys will get to know. So you're gonna have to come back next week to watch the next episode of the B Rock RC show. And so, like I said, we're going to be building up to the nationals. That's just a quick little intro. And next week, we're going to be showing off a little bit more. I'm going to be posting a few hints here and there on this page here, on the Birak RC show page, about the track, about the event. So if you want to get the heads up on the next person, or if you're just interested in seeing what the track is like, you're going to have to follow the page and watch for those hints. Right now, to get into the nitty gritty of what I wanted to talk about this week. So for this week's hot topic, I posted a question on the Worldwide RC Drift group for everybody to engage in. Kevin, thanks so much, brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate the words, and I appreciate the guys giving me the opportunity to host the nationals this year. It's been a long time coming. I know that the guys in the other regions have become a little tired with hosting the nationals. And when I say tired, I don't mean that they are fed up of hosting the nationals. I just mean that nationals does take a lot of time and effort, and guys in other regions have constantly been putting in so much of effort every year. So I'm happy that this opportunity came by so I can host it and give everybody a break, and also change the scenery a little bit. Durban isn't as bad as you see it in the media, so I'm going to show you that it isn't that bad at all. So yeah, thank you, Kev. I'll definitely be keeping in touch. Oh. Actually, I do need to speak to you something, but I'll catch you. Um, I'll speak to you after the show, after this episode. I'll just send you a message. Just a new scenery. No, of course. I mean no. I didn't mean any disrespect at all. I just think that you guys have every year. Like it's almost as though everybody depends on you guys to do the nationals, and to some extent, I think it's a little bit unfair to place such a heavy uh, emphasis on you guys. And I'm happy that I'm in a position to lighten the load and host it this year. That's all. Just yeah, I didn't mean any offense by it. Yeah, this week's hot topic, guys. Let's get into it. Share a few comments, and then you can dip if you need to. This week's hot topic was: where do you see the future of RC drifting going? What do you see evolving in the hobby? Be it uh, chassis, be it electronics equipment, the scene itself. Like, how do you see it progressing? And there's been many, how can I put it? There's been a hell of a lot of input from a lot of people, which is nice to see that everybody isn't just in a hobby. They've also putting some thought into it, you know. they're like, okay, there's more that we can do here. There's a lot more we can see. So there's one or two comments that I picked up that we can expand on. Like, for example, Russell Gander, he says he's of the opinion that we should start introducing classes. Now, uh, I'm a little bit 50-50 on that. I can understand um, why he would say that we should introduce classes. It's because of I believe the range of electronics that we have available now, and the skill level of everyone now, and that everyone comes with a different chassis, and yet we all compete together. So you have like a really, really experienced guy versus a brand new rookie newbie guy, or somebody mid experience and versus mid experience, whatever it is. So I can understand his sentiments with wanting to introduce classes. On the other side, is it really necessary to start having classes in RC drifting? The one way I believe some competitions have already separated uh, the classes was like where you qualify. So they separated it into like a street or D1 or pro or expert level. I've seen it being done a lot in the East, like Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, sort of that area. I haven't seen it done much in the UK. It might have been done like a long time ago, but it's not anymore here. So it's very interesting to see. And although I'm 50-50, I'm kind of leaning more on the side of I'm not so sure if we should, because one of the things that's really attractive to me about RC drifting is the fact that it's so personal, it's so original and unique. And when I say that, what I mean is that you and I can have the exact same equipment, exact same car, electronics, radio. It can be tuned exactly the same, but they will never drive the same. Never ever. So that uniqueness for me is one of the things that's so attractive, in that it's so individualistic, if that's even a word. I really like that with RC drifting, it's almost an expression of who you are as an individual, and you can come in there with your own thing altogether, and you can compete against guys who come ready to run, or who have help, who have a mechanical separate person helping them with their cars, and you can go up against them. You have guys who want to really struggle and hustle it out on themselves and build themselves up like that, and drive together. Now, obviously, when I'm speaking about this, I'm speaking from a competitive point of view, a competitive perspective. On the social side, dude, we don't care. It doesn't matter. It even more so, it doesn't matter, because on the social side, all you care about is running that door with your buddy or buddies. You wanna drive in a train, you know. So the social side is obviously way more fun, way more fun. And ask anybody who's competed in a huge event, ask them where did they have the most amount of fun in a competition. We'll put a pin in that. Tice says, we're all in this bubble of competitive drifting, but looking at the RC Drift subreddit, even now, every now and then, I see so many cheap RTR drift RCs and the same on TikTok. I hope that everyone that enters the hobby from there will mix in a positive way with our relatively small community to grow together. I actually need to go and have a look at this the subreddits and see what's going on. I do follow a hell of a lot of um, RC drifters on TikTok. I enjoy the short form videos that they post. Uh, what I what I enjoy more from watching them drift is the creativity behind shooting the videos. So it gives me a lot of ideas. But even besides that, I think they have a very important role in to play in the promotion of RC drifting. But together with that, there is some level of responsibility in that when you receive these questions, like where do I get the car from? What car is this? How do I do this? Where do I all begin? These are the people at the front line who need to give the correct advice. For example, if you would like to drift like the way you see in the videos, here is what you need to get. This is the equipment you need, and etc. etc. However, in order to get to this point, you need to do A, B, and C. There is an expense attached to this, and you need to prepare yourself if you really want to go into it. However, here is an introduction into the hobby, which is much more affordable. Start from there, see how you feel about the hobby. If it's something for you, come join us. We will guide you along the way, we will help you, and so on and so forth. So I think that this should be the approach. Doesn't necessarily need to be the exact approach, but this is how I feel we need to be. Unfortunately, the world has changed so much that you have to soften your words when you speak into to people. Otherwise, immediately they are thrown off. And as Ty said, it's a relatively small community, a relatively small brotherhood, and we want this to grow. And I've always spoken about it. We want longevity. We want to create this legacy of RC drifting for the future. We want it to stay. We don't want it to die off anyway. We want it to stay. We want our future kids and grandkids and friends and nieces and nephews and whoever it is, but we want the future generations to look at RC drifting as something incredibly enjoyable that they want to be a part of, and that's here to stay. So let's. I'd love to get to speak to more of these TikTokers, like RC Drift Talk. I don't know who that guy is, but I'd love to have a chat with him and just take some notes from him because he has a massive following. Uh, and let's see how we can collab. A few of the other points that were made, and one that Kevin has mentioned, is FPV. Now, I think FPV definitely has a place in RC, as we see with competitive drone racing. Have a seat in your comfortable chair, you got your goggles, etc., and we can drift. However, if we are to evolve into FPV, that is where I think we need to separate the classes. So we're going to have an FPV class, and then we have a regular class, because not everybody is going to be that much into FPV. Some are still going to want to do it the old school way, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of people who's going to want to engage and experience this whole new world of FPV RC drifting. Then we're going to have to sit down, have a round table, and come up with a set of rules and regulations related to FPV drifting. When it comes to the equipment, what do we use, and if there should be any restrictions, talking about like a camera placement, then in a competition setting there has to be very, very strict technical checking. I wanted to use a more eloquent word there other than checking. Scrutinizing, that's a word. So yeah, there has to be a high level, very technical, very strict uh, scrutinizing of the equipment to make sure that that nobody's cheating, because you could very well have a driver sitting there with the goggles on pretending to drift FPV when he has a buddy in the background actually drifting without FPV. That could be one of the things. I personally would love to get into FPV drifting. There is a guy I was following, but he hardly posts up anymore. He's based in New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken. And so far, from what I've seen, his videos that he's posted out, he has been, and I stand to be corrected, but he's been the most successful with FPV RC drifting that I've seen anywhere in the world. I've seen FPV crawling, which is a whole nother game, and this lady has this whole setup in a sim rig, in a complete, I don't know, 8 axis sim rig set up with the steering and pedal controls, massive screen. This thing it's nuts. So I'm not concerned about the technology that exists, and we can adapt it to FPV. To drifting. I just feel that we need to, if we're going to turn it into a competitive part of RC drifting, it needs to be its own class, and then it has to be strictly regulated. And when I say strictly regulated, I mean there has to be strict rules in place for how we compete with FPV drifting. So it's definitely something that I would say RC drifting may evolve into, but it's yet to be seen, I guess. Um, Another comment from Matt Watts. He mentioned that he doesn't think that there's going to be a heavy evolution in RC drifting, meaning that, and from what I understand, that there isn't going to be something absolutely extraordinary besides FPV. So far, his observation is that so far we've seen a consistent evolution with RC drifting, especially the equipment. So like a chassis, every couple of years there's a new chassis. Um, Same with electronics. Motors hasn't really changed a hell of a lot, but we have seen certain improvements on motors, especially coming out of like Hobby Wing, Yokomo, and Ecuvance. Same with the ESCs. We've seen improvements and evolutions in the ESCs. They've gotten better. They're performing a lot better, packed with more features, wireless, uh, wireless connectivity now, something which we've spoken of years back. I will try and find that episode because I know we've spoken about it many years back in past episodes where we spoke about electronics and what we would like to see. We've spoken about things like this wireless connectivity. And then the latest we see now is the ESC from Furytech, where they've included a little LCD screen on the ESC, and then making use of the old BlackBerry trackball, so you can access certain features. And I'm not too sure if, okay, we're speaking specifically about the Furytech, and this is not to put them down. This is not to take away from the technology or from what they've created. But I'm very curious to know, like, what's the durability of that LCD? how is the heat dissipated on that ESC? Because surely it gets a bit hot. Combined with the heat of the LCD, how do are we going to see a little LCD burn in a little while? If the how's the temps? I'm sure they've done the testing, but I'm very curious to see. And then that trackball on the BlackBerry. I don't know if you guys ever experienced, but that was one of the weakest points on the BlackBerry. That trackball would go, doesn't work well. So I'm also curious to know how will the heat affect all of that. I believe they also have wireless connectivity, so hopefully that can be used to circumvent any of this. And I'd imagine that the ESC has an auto shut off on the LCD. So after a while of you not using it, or after a while of no activity, it goes into a sleep mode almost. So, it'll be interesting to see. And yeah, I think there were a hell of a lot more comments. Let's see if the one of the comments I remember one of the guys put up was saying that 1 in 24 drift chassis is the future and that's the way to go. To be honest, I don't think so. When you look at at least from our side, from here in SA, when we look at the price of a 1 in 24 drift chassis versus a 1 in 10 drift chassis and the electronics and everything associated with it, it's very, very similar in pricing. I don't know how it is over there in the US and Europe and elsewhere. But here in South Africa, when we compared the price, it's almost the same price. And all our checks have been designed for a 1 in 10 scale car. So to put a 1 in 24 in the mix there, I don't know. And I don't know how well it's going to catch on when most of the guys that are in drifting, or most of the people that are in drifting, have invested in 1 in 10 scale. So to reinvest in a 1 in 24 scale that's similar in pricing, I don't think a lot of people will catch on because they'd rather take the same money and either upgrade the existing chassis or buy something new. However, that's just my observations, that's just my opinions. And if you feel different, please feel free to correct me or send me a message or a comment. I'd appreciate it. I'm always open to hearing everybody's point of view, and I find it very enriching because it helps me understand everybody better, which I really enjoy. I love understanding everybody better. It just makes the whole experience a whole lot more pleasurable and peaceful, and then we can all get along because then you understand why people say the things they do or do the things they do because that's how they are. So yeah, looking forward to that. Ooh, and then to close off today's episode, I must tell you I have another pet peeve. This really gets me, and it's been happening fairly recently, and it's really starting to get to me. I'm always seeing, or I'm starting to see this trend of people 3D printing bodies for their car. It really bugs me. I don't hate it, but it agitates me. It frustrates me to see that they would 3D print a body. We have so many fantastic manufacturers producing so many fantastic bodies of such a great quality. Why would you put yourself into suffering and 3D printing a body where you're going to have to rub it down and then paint? and then and then you don't get the print right, and it's so rigid, and it doesn't come out exactly the way you are, and then halfway through your print you run out of your PLA or whatever material you use to print, and then there's so much of wastage there. And I don't know, I feel like the body is too heavy for the chassis, but that's just my opinion with the weight. Other than that, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I won't hate on it, of course. I won't hate on you for doing a 3D printed body. I just don't like it. I would rather support a genuine manufacturer and invest in that manufacturer by buying their products, so that they see that, oh, okay, the community is supporting our our company, so let us produce more of the stuff that they like. And this is what we need to remind ourselves, is that when we purchase from these manufacturers and we show them an interest in their products, they are more inclined to listen to what we have to say, to listen to our feedback, and make changes based on our feedback. Whereas if we consistently hate or diss these manufacturers on their products, they won't be keen at all to listen or make a change, because for them it's a point of frustration. Like, why do we need to make these changes when these people hate what we do? There's no point, you see. So we need to be cognizant of all of this. We need to pay attention. We need to realize, we need to understand that there is a purpose with supporting the manufacturers. It's not just about you buying what you need or what you want from them, but there is a reciprocatory. Why am I using such words? The manufacturers are more inclined to support us more if we support them more. You know what I'm saying? Ty said, with almost all bodies now being $70 plus at least, 3D printing for only a few dollars seems like a good idea. It's just that a hard body usually is not allowed to check. Okay, thank you for that input, Thais. I think you have a 3D printer, if I'm not mistaken, and you dabble a little bit in 3D printing. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate the feedback. Now I'm starting to get a better idea of why people would want to 3D print a body. So I I want to. It's almost causing me to rethink the way I see, the way I look at 3D bodies, 3D printed bodies now. So now we come to a point that I would need to reconcile and get over, which would be the hard body nature of that, uh, of a 3D print. So we'll hear some more about it. Let's see. Ty says supporting the designer of a really good 3D file is also supporting the community, though, right? 100%. I'm all for that. I'm all for supporting a designer who comes up with a good 3D file, with something that can really benefit the community, and it helps make people excited about it. Definitely, I would love to do that if I could as well. But with saying that, I haven't found any 3D files that I need at the moment. Maybe uh, some very unique accessories that I can't get available, or that I can't find available. Yeah, which actually reminds me, and I'm gonna write another note here in my book, Thais, which is something else I need to message you about. So after this uh, show, please expect a message from me. I have an idea for something, and I hope that maybe we can collab on this and make it happen. I've got an idea. Uh, Sorry, I'm just writing it down quickly. What's it? Right, got it. Okay. I'll talk to you about it a little bit later. Yeah, so I agree. Supporting a really good designer of a 3D file, yeah, definitely. If it's a body that no one is producing at the moment and you wanna 3D print it, yeah, I can get behind that. So maybe let me revise my perspective to 3D printed bodies. If it's a body that a not local, a manufacturer is not producing or has discontinued and does not want to produce anymore, and you 3D print this, thumbs up, no problem. But like I said, together with all of that, I need to reconcile and get over this hard body nature of the 3D printed body. So what I will do on my side is dive a little bit more into this field of 3D printing and 3D printed bodies and look at how I can get over it and be on board with it. However, I'd like to say that we can still disagree and still be friends, if you know what I mean. So let's see how the journey goes. So, guys, I think we will call that a day. We'll call that a time on our podcast for today. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined in from minute one right to the end. I really appreciate it. We did go a little bit more, take a little bit more time than what I've been doing from this season. It went on a little bit longer, but I hope that it's been fruitful. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. Please, really need your feedback in two ways. One is if you could please leave a comment or message me directly just with some feedback on like how's the audio, for example, and the camera quality, for example. At least those two particular things. If you could please give me back some feedback on it, um, and I'd really appreciate it because that helps me sort of fine tune my podcast. I know I don't have lighting, but trust me, it's coming. Just give me a bit of time. Hey Andy, what's happening, mate? Yeah, man. For the end of fasting, I decided to clean up a little bit. See, got a haircut and everything. Trim the beard a little bit. Looking about 5 years younger. You know how it is. um, yeah, guys. So yeah, like I was saying. So the one way is please give me direct feedback about the show, and the second thing is, which is going to be a massive help, is if you could please leave a review on the Facebook page, on the B-Rock RC Show page. Leave a review about the show. It really helps me understand where I'm going wrong, or if I'm doing something right, or how I can improve on the show. So if you could please do either one. If you want to do both, that's fine as well. But yeah, your feedback is very important to me in order to make the show much better. In the upcoming episodes, I will be going back to our track feature segment. So if you have a track that you would like to be featured on the bureaucracy show, please give me a shout and I would gladly like to feature your track. Looking at featuring tracks from around the world. So we've done Japan and Portugal. No, sorry, not Portugal. We've done Spain. We've done. Uh, I was supposed to do one in China, but that didn't work out. We've done Poland. We've done France. The UK, of course. We've done Germany. We've done Berlin. Done Canada, Switzerland, the US. So yeah, I mean, give me a shout. Let's feature you. Together with that, we want to add a new segment to the show as well, which is a driver feature. Which I know I've spoken about it one or two seasons back, but I just didn't get around to doing it. We're working it a little bit more technical now. We want to pre-record it, and if possible, we like to do it live. We're going to have a few test sessions. So if anybody is interested in helping me test out this interview feature that I'd like to host, please feel free. It'll just be a casual chat between me and you, just to test the system out. So yeah, once again, thank you very much, everyone, for joining into today's episode of the B-Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. Take care, keep well, keep doing your projects. Tag me in your projects. I'd love to see what you guys are up to. And yeah, keep on drifting, man. I'll catch you same time, same place next week. See you guys. Be safe. Peace.